mean, I'll say like business partnerships are just like a relationship. It's like your girlfriend, your boyfriend. There's a lot of days where, you know, you don't have the motivation to do it. You don't have the faith to do it. If you understand that, all right, you're kind of just executing God's plan. It's really hard to have those really negative days where you're just like, I can't do it. Like, I entered high school and I already had my hustle. In middle school, I used to sell snacks out my locker. I used to go to like the outlets and buy like old polos and sell it to like the students and the teachers and the parents.
I love that. It's like, especially in the generation that we live in, where like it seems like everyone gets results overnight, but not really, but it seems like it. It's like grew step by step by step.
BrownMill is really important to us, but it's not everything to us. It's not like our whole life. And we know that there's actually more important things in life, like our family, God, love. So
what would you say to someone who's like, you know, probably at the beginning stages of like trying to build something?
Definitely write things down.
Welcome back to another episode of God CEOs podcast. I am your host, Ashley, and I am blessed to be here.
Leading with purpose, serving with a heart. That's the God CEO's way. May God use this channel to create many entrepreneurs. Amen.
Hi, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of the God CEOs podcast. I am your host, Ashley. Thank you so much for joining us for another episode. I'm excited today because I think today's episode is going to be 10 out of 10. We have someone here. Honestly, when I think about him, he is just someone who is a definition of an entrepreneur, but also someone who's really a student to the game, but also someone who just utilizes every opportunity. We were talking a little bit before off camera just about who he is and all the opportunities he's taken advantage of. I know this episode is going to bless you. So I just want to introduce my guest, Kwaku.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you for coming.
For sure.
I'm super excited. I have so much burning questions, and I know you was like, save it for when we start recording. But yeah, thank you for coming. I'm so honored. I know you're a busy man. You have a busy schedule, so I'm really grateful that you're able to come and, you know, grace our platform. So my first question is, just tell us a little bit about you, who you are, your background, just a little bit about you. We want to learn a little bit more about you.
Yeah.
And who you are.
Cool. Kwaku Agyemang. So from Ghana, West Africa, but lived in New Jersey for most of my life. Co-founder of BrownMill Company, which is a fashion lifestyle brand I started with two of my friends, Justice and Taha, in high school. Also marketing expert, brand strategist, worked at Twitter, Spotify, currently at Google.
Yes.
So yeah, just, entrepreneurship, marketing, advertising, growth. That's really my expertise. But outside of that, I love to be active, love going to church, love to run, bike, all that stuff. So yeah, that's me in a nutshell.
Okay, period. I can see you in a running club. Are you in a running club?
Not currently in a running club, but I do run a lot.
Oh, okay.
Do some like half marathons.
Oh my God, that's so cool. That's exciting. Okay, cool. So how do you prepare for a half marathon?
You gotta be consistent. You gotta get up and run in the morning. Honestly, I feel like if you don't run in the morning, you're probably not gonna do it later in the day. So the earlier the better.
So like, even in the wintertime?
Yeah, just bundle up.
Yeah,
it'll be warm. You
be having the vest, the weighted vest, or the vest with the pockets?
The vest with the pockets, all that.
Okay, cool. So I love that. You started a business with your friends. So tell us a little bit about just getting into business with your friends.
Yeah.
How did that start?
I mean, I would say we weren't friends when we started the business.
Oh.
Yeah, so it's a little different, but how the business started was Justice, he's the CEO of the company currently, so he started in 8th grade. He taught himself how to sew. He was making bow ties out of his mom's and grandma's old dresses, and he was selling them. He called them BrownMill bow ties because he named it after his grandfather, John Brown, and his grandma, Mildred. So
that is too cute.
So he started his own hustle, and that was his thing. He was a very sharp dresser. He used to come to school wearing suits and bow ties, and really, that was really who he was known for.
Yeah.
On the other hand, there was a guy named Taha who was a graphic designer. He used to make his own designs and used to make T-shirts. So they're all a year older than me. So when they got to high school freshman year, Taha and Justice met, and they started talking about design and how they wanted to collab on just doing different things. And the whole plan was they wanted to start making clothes together. Justice making the tailored clothes and Taha making the T-shirts.
Oh wow!
So I entered high school, and I already had my hustle. In middle school, I used to sell snacks out my locker.
Okay.
I used to go to like the outlets and buy like old polos and sell it to like the students and the teachers and the parents. Yeah, I had a setup. So going into my freshman year, so Taha and Justice sophomore year, they kind of like started to build the brand of BrownMill, and they're kind of known. And I needed a bow tie for a wedding. Went to Justice, he made me a beautiful bow tie. Wore it to the wedding, took some pictures, and then I sold it maybe a week after on eBay.
One thing about it, you was gonna sell something.
I was gonna sell it, yeah. So when I saw Justice in school, he's like, yo, like, can I take some pictures of the bow tie? I'm like, oh, bro, I sold it already.
Oh my God.
Yeah, and he's kind of like, yeah, how much did you sell it for? I'm like, oh, $65.
Oh my God.
Wow, that's a lot of money.
$65?
Yeah.
This was, how long ago?
This is probably like 10 years ago. Yeah, so he's like, yeah, can you help me some, like, more my bow ties? I'm like, sure, yeah. So he's like, yeah, like, you know, it's called BrownMill. I want you to interview to be a part of it.
Oh, he was not playing.
I'm like, all right, cool. So literally, he interviews me at like a pizza parlor by his house, and I become like the first official salesperson of BrownMill. So that year, selling bow ties for prom and like people in my church, and officially I became like a co-founder of the company alongside Taha and Justice. And yeah, we just started to just take it seriously, honing our craft. Every day after school, we'll go to Justice's mom's garage, make different designs, make different t-shirts, bring them to school, and then sell it at the locker, sell it on Instagram, sell it at track meets. And yeah, it became a hustle. And I think throughout building a brand, we became friends. That's how we became friends. But you know, starting a company with friends you already have established, I think is a little different. Yeah. We became friends because we had talents that needed to align to make the business work.
I love that. I think it's so crazy how like kind of like God orchestrated you guys for each other. And it's so funny because he didn't realize he needed you. And then like you came in and you fulfilled a need. So talk a little about that consistency. I mean, you guys were young, but what do you feel like was really driving you? Because to say, you know, after school, being young and I'm going to go and work on a brand. Yeah. That's like, that's different.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like all of us kind of had the mindset that we wanted to build something for ourselves. Yeah. You know, it would have been easy for us to just go to H&M or go shop at, you know, at the time Forever 21, Urban Outfitters and buy the clothes. But the feeling of making your own design and wearing it to school, especially at that age, is different. Like, hey, I made this t-shirt. Yeah. If you don't like it, that's on you, but I know I made it. And then seeing other people wear your stuff in school, it was a lot of like satisfaction. It was a lot of like, okay, I'm determined to continue to build this. And that's what kept us like driven and consistent during those early years.
Yeah. So BrownMill started when?
So Justice started a company with his like family 2009. Wow. Yeah.
So you guys are like about to hit 20 years.
Yeah, pretty much.
That's cool. So talk a little bit about what was, you know, you all's first like big break. Because I know you guys did a whole bunch of amazing things, which we were going to talk about. We're going to get into it. But what would you say it was that like first milestone or like game changer for you? Hey everyone, it's Ashley from God CEOs.
Hi, my name is Mama Mensa. I'm the founder of Inner City Wellness, NYC.
And we are inviting you to Brunch and Bloom.
It's happening on July 12th in New York City.
This is going to be an amazing event for all of our women Christian business owners and business owners to be.
Tickets are going to be dropping soon, so make sure you stay on the lookout for that.
Make sure you follow us on all social media platforms. They will be here on the screen and linked in the show notes.
Make sure you invite a friend, and we cannot wait to see you there.
Now, let's get back to this episode.
I mean, I feel like if you ask the founders, everybody probably has like a
different. Yeah.
I think for me, my first big break for BrownMill was senior year. Come to school one day and literally, I'm not lying, like 45 different people were wearing BrownMill. Wow. From the freshmen to like the sophomores to like the juniors to the seniors. Just people walking around wearing like the BrownMill t-shirts. Teachers wearing the BrownMill t-shirts, coaches. You know, we have like a big football team, the opposing team coming to the game wearing BrownMill. Wow. And just like, okay, like now people are wearing it that don't even know me personally. So I'm going to freshmen and say, yo, nice shirt. They're like, yeah. So that was like, okay, like this is bigger than me now. Yeah. It's crazy. Yeah.
So you guys like started like a movement.
Yeah, for sure.
Oh, that's what's up. That's cool. And then, so talk a little bit about, because when you guys started, was there even like Instagram and stuff? No.
Instagram was new. Snapchat was like
Yeah.
pretty big.
So what social media platforms did you guys go on? Did you guys go on all the time? Or?
Yes, I mean Snapchat was like my like bread and butter. Like 5 t-shirts, size small, medium, large, $15. Meet me at my locker, 12:45 after lunch. Cash only. Yeah.
Cash
we
only. Yeah.
Venmo, all
And
that
all
stuff
that.
wasn't really there. So yeah, cash
Yeah.
only. Yeah. And I used to do IOUs. So like, let's say you could only pay 5 at the moment. I'll hold it for you. You could pay me 10 later. Yeah, but that's how we were running it back in the day.
So you were like a true businessman from the gate.
Yeah, for sure.
I love that. So when you guys created like an Instagram and all that stuff, I know you also just work in like brand marketing and stuff.
Yeah.
What would you say are like some pivotal strategies you guys use? I know Instagram changes and it's continually changing, but what were some strategies that you guys use on like Instagram, social media that you feel like really helped take your business to kind of have that visibility?
Yeah, I think what worked for us is like the educational side. Like, so we had like these posts that we'll call reference posts, and they're basically like why we're making a certain piece. So if we made a piece with Malcolm X like face on it, we'll do a post about Malcolm X, educating people about who Malcolm X was, what he did. If we did a post about Marcus Garvey, we'll do like a post like so anything that we did, we'll have like a post explaining. I think a lot of people like that because Instagram at the time was a lot of selfies, a lot of people, on vacation. But when you see a post that actually educates you, you're like, oh, I need to learn more. So
Yeah.
that would really help us down, adding on to the aesthetic. And then, there's a lot of tips. So we're giving people fashion tips like, this is the type of denim you wear with this shirt. This is how you tie a bow tie. This is how you tie a tie. You're not really getting that from a 15-year-old.
Right.
Especially on Instagram. So if you're like, okay, these guys are different.
Yeah.
Let me tune in.
That's so cool. And then, so at what point did you guys like kind of go in and go from just bow ties and shirts to like making other pieces? I know you guys make patches and like all these different things. How did you guys kind of segue into like different pieces?
Yeah, I think it was when my 2 co-founders got into college. Justice went to Rutgers Newark, Ty went to Rutgers Camden. We're just kind of like, okay, like t-shirts are working, but what else can we do? Can we do some jeans? Can we do some hats? Can we do some like things that take us to the next level? So we actually created like our own patch. It was a BrownMill brain hat. And we made this hat. It was our first like original design on a hat. And we're like, okay, if we could sell 250 of these hats, then we got something. Yeah. So pretty much, I still remember the day the patches come in, and you have to like glue them onto the hat, stitch it. So we hire like some freshmen from Rutgers, and we get this like warehouse that we're paying for, and we just teach them all how to like make these hats. Get 250 hats. We split it down 3 ways. So I got a bag for Rutgers, New Brunswick, and then my co-founders have a bag for Rutgers Camden, and then Rutgers Newark. And we're just like, whoever sells out the hats first.
Wow.
Yeah. So for me, I was like, I was still in high school, so I'm like, all right, I'm hitting up different college students because both my brothers went to Rutgers, and I'm like, if you guys sell these hats, $30, I'll give you $5. So kind of cheese the system, and then we're able to sell out the house in like 2 months.
Wow.
And we're like, all right, cool, we got something. But then a lot of people started to reach out like, yo, I need a hat from like Philly, from Cali, from Atlanta. And we're like, okay, we need a website now. Yeah, we need a website. We need to start shipping.
Wow.
Yeah.
I love it. It's like, I feel like we're going through like a timeline.
Yeah, it's definitely
which I love. So in terms of just like, I'm going back to like the warehouse and everything. So how did you guys say, you know what, like having that faith that like we're gonna do this? Granted, you guys seen that it worked, but it's like every time you guys went bigger, like what really pushed you guys to say, you know what, we're gonna go bigger and bigger and bigger?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I think for me, as you said before, God's plan, and He puts that intuition in your mind to know that, all right, this is not the end. So for us, we sold t-shirts in high school. People were wearing them. Now we're making hats. People are wearing the hats. It's kind of like, okay, what's the next step? What's the next step? What's the next step? So that's where like, okay, let's get a warehouse. Let's hire some help. Let's get a website. All that comes from this intuition that we're getting from, God at the end of the day.
Yeah. I love that. So now you guys create a website. Did you guys make the website? You guys hired someone?
Yeah, we use like a Squarespace.
Okay.
Yeah, to create the website.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then talk about like the launching of the website. Was it like a big launch? Was it like a product launch, or like how was it?
It was just more like an Instagram post, like, all right, stop coming to Kwaku's Locker. We got a website now. So I do the website.
Oh,
and now you can pay with credit card. You can pay different things. It doesn't have to be cash. And then we had to like learn how to like, package the goods and like actually ship things. And honestly, the first 2 years of the website was hard because I was going into college. We're getting a lot of orders, and it was kind of like, are you shipping it? Nah, you shipping? I'm like, bro, I got finals. Like, so it'll go like a week or two, and people wouldn't get their orders. So we kind of had to like, look at this and say, yeah, it was a business. I know we all have classes, but somebody has to ship.
Yeah.
Somebody has to get that done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So how did you guys kind of like, when did systems come into play? Because I know you guys needed it. And like with just packaging and just like streamlining everything, when did that come into play? When you guys were in college, or?
Yeah, I mean, systems, I'll say for us, since we started so early, it was kind of like, we'll do stuff, we'll like fail, it won't work, and then we'll realize, okay, we need somebody to do it, or we need to build like some infrastructure. So I think that's the blessing of starting something super early, because you don't know what you don't know, so you're gonna fail. So even with shipping, we used to ship, package it, go to the post office, pay the posters one by one, and then ship it out.
Wow.
Until one day, like, somebody sends a YouTube video on like a system that could just like print out all your labels for you. Yeah. And then we were still printing out the labels and then taping it ourselves.
Oh, wow.
Then we realized, you could just buy a label printer and it'll be sticky and you can put it on there.
Right.
And now we're to the point, like, I'm talking about 10 years, we're to the point where we don't even ship our things ourselves. Like, we have a whole different company that does it for us. So orders come in, company sees it, packages it, put it on BrownMill packaging, ships it out now. So it took like, years to get to that place. Yeah. We had a lot of hard times, but we figured it out.
I love that. It's like, it's a real true journey.
Yeah.
And I think now, especially in the generation that we live in, where like, it seems like everyone gets results overnight.
Yeah.
Ish.
Yeah.
Well, not really, but it seems like it. It's like, no one really wants to go through this like journey of like growth. You guys literally like grew step by step by step. So talk a little bit about just now you guys are at the point where you learn how to package things on your own, the smart way, with like a thermal printer and all these different things. But now it's like, you're realizing like, was it just like, okay, we realized we have this printer and we're doing these packages and we're just growing? Or was it like another pivotal moment where you guys kind of like had that streamline where you guys, I don't know if the word is viral, or you guys kind of like... Yeah. Did you guys have like a viral moment?
Yeah, we had a couple.
A couple, right?
Just a couple, honestly. I mean, it's honestly been a journey. And I'll just say for us, like, we had the online website. We're in college, and I think we started to get reached out to by different schools to do fashion shows.
Okay.
Yeah, so we started to do like a tour in college, going to Howard University, Morgan State University, Harvard University, universities in Chicago, universities like in Pennsylvania. And we started to realize how many people like gravitated towards our stuff in these other pockets, because we all grew up in New Jersey. Yeah. And, sometimes we go to New York, but seeing somebody in Pennsylvania and Pittsburgh want some BrownMill, seeing somebody in Atlanta want BrownMill, California want BrownMill, we kind of understood, okay, we have a place and it's time to kick it up. Yeah. But I say like a couple of viral moments for me personally in college is one time we went to New York. We went with our bags, trying to sell our bags, and we tried to sell a hat to a model, and she's like, oh, like, I can't wear the hat because, my hair, I want to keep my hair out, but my boyfriend may like your hat. And we meet her boyfriend is actually NBA player Serge Ibaka.
Wow.
Yeah, he decides to buy all the hats that we had in our bags. Like, he just throws it on, buys all the hats, and then we take a picture of him, and literally, like, on Instagram, everybody's excited because it's an NBA player we see all the time wearing it. So that was really cool. One year I was interning at Goldman Sachs. Andre Iguodala came to speak. And I just happened to have like some BrownMill. I always brought BrownMill to work, so I was selling some of my coworkers too. And I gave Andre Iguodala a sweater. And he's like, thank you. Next week, he takes a picture on it, posts it on Instagram. And at the time, he played for the Warriors. He's like a champion. So for people to see like him wearing BrownMill, it just kind of like blew people's minds.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's like,
so-
this is the company that's it. I need some of that.
Exactly. So, I mean, we had a lot of moments from celebrities where
Yeah.
I stopped to just like partnerships with different organizations or companies. So it's been a journey.
Wow, that's amazing. I'm so happy for you guys. It's like a dream come true for real.
For sure.
Talk about how did you guys get into Urban Outfitters?
Yeah. So that happened about 2 years ago. And at the time, we already had our store.
Yeah.
We opened our store in Newark in 2021. The hype was there.
Yeah.
Dwayne Wade wore our stuff and posted it.
Yeah.
We're
Seen
featured
that.
in a movie with Gabrielle Union. So we're just trying to figure out different ways to get our stuff more out there. And we have done projects with Urban Outfitters in the past, just like mini marketing projects. But we reached out to them saying like, hey, like, would you guys be open to carrying our stuff? And they're like,
So
yeah.
you guys reached out.
Yeah, we reached out.
I love that.
Like a pitch deck, and we pitched it. I'm like, yeah, like, why not? So we launched last year during Black History Month, and it's been great.
Oh, I love that. Oh my God, this is amazing. This is like, I think when you think about like Black excellence, I think about you guys. Like, it's just amazing. So talk a little bit about just the inception of the store. Because you guys ended up closing the store, right? Or switching location?
Yeah, the store is still there. It's just more of like a third space now, more of a community center. Where just like focus on
selling things.
Selling things.
So talk a little bit about the inception of the store and then also just that pivot. Hold on. You've gotten this far in the episode. You haven't liked, comment, subscribed, or even shared with a friend. Okay, that's fine. But now's the time to do it. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. It really does help us over here at God CEOs, and it lets us know that you are enjoying our content. Share this with a friend that you think needs this message. Now let's get back to this episode.
Yeah. So we're doing pop-ups in different locations, like a little bit after college. So we're going to like Atlanta, LA, and people are really gravitating towards like the inside experience of BrownMill, like getting to meet us in person. You know, we have like a certain way we decorate our sets, and like people want to try on clothes and like actually feel like they're there. Yeah. So COVID hit, and we can't do pop-ups anymore because there's like a pandemic happening. And it's funny enough, like we had one pop-up like right before COVID in DC. It was probably like our worst pop-up because like the rumors of COVID was there, so a lot of people weren't going outside. And my co-founder Justin was like, yo, we should just open the store. I'm like, why would we do that? That's like, literally like one of the dumbest things we could do at this moment. And he's like, why not? Like our online sales are good. People come to our not to this pop-up, but from before. And it's probably going to be super cheap because this pandemic, nobody knows what's going on. Right. Yeah, so I'm like, all right, let's take a vote. And I'm thinking of my co-founder, Tom, like, this is a horrible idea.
He agrees with it.
He agrees. So we actually ended up finding like a property on Halsey Street. The landlord is trying to rent it out. And pretty much nobody's renting because it's COVID. Yeah. And he's like, I'll give you guys a deal. You just need to give us a deposit of like $9,000 by a certain date. I'm like, okay, yeah, we'll get it. Yeah, so pretty much we're just figuring out different ways to get it. One of our team members, his name is Chris Chandler, and he's like, yo, we need to think bigger. And he keeps on saying that. And my co-founder Justin was like, we should put that on a t-shirt. So we put that on a yellow t-shirt, and we throw the t-shirt on Instagram. And it everybody gravitates towards it because there's so much going on. Black Lives Matter movement, the pandemic. That becomes our best selling t-shirt that year. Wow. It gives us enough money to put in that deposit for the store. So June 5th, 2021, we opened the store. And so many people come to the block or the store opening, they actually close the block off because cars can't go through. Yeah. So after our store opening, the cops come. They're like, hey, if you guys want to do this again, please just get a permit. Like, is that the inception of the block party? Yeah, that's the inception of the block party. Is so lit. Like, okay, like, all right, so next year during our anniversary, we'll get like a permit to close the block. So we do it next year. We close just like the little block in our street. Again, so many people come, and I think 4,000 people come to the one we have the year after. Wow. And it's great. But then we get some inquiries from other businesses like, yo, like you guys are like taking all the customers. What about us? Yeah. So the year after that, we're like, okay, we're gonna do this again, but we're gonna involve community organizations and businesses. So we have 70 small businesses in Newark come and set up shop. Wow. We have community organizations. We get sponsors from, United, Prudential. We work with Newark Alliance on it. And we kind of just build it up. We get a stage, we get performers, and it's a great time. I think that year, like 6,000 people come.
Wow.
The next year, we're just like, okay, all right, we got to take this to the next level. So we get more sponsors, we get more vendors, we get more community organizations. And last year, over 10,000 people came.
Wow.
So, yeah, this year, we're carrying up.
June 7th. Make sure you're there.
Yeah, so that's pretty much, why we started the store. And the pivot came from, we were selling at the store in Newark. We already had our online sales. We had like our pop-up shops, but a lot of focus of the brand came to just the store. And we started to lose that essence of being, outside of the New Jersey, New York area.
Right.
And then honestly, like, third spaces for just Black professionals and Black people in general, it's not really there. There's not a lot of places you could just go and just be. And BrownMill became that for the community. A lot of people were coming in to do different events. People were renting out the shop. So okay, like why don't we, keep the BrownMill side, but also open this up to the community and make this a third space. So that's why the pivot came.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
It's just, I just think like all of you guys' steps are just so ordered, but I think also too like there's a lot of investment in this.
Yeah.
Talk a little about the investment of like time, energy, money. Like I love the fact that you even mentioned like you guys make money and you be invested into the business.
Yeah.
Like just talk about just the idea of investment as an entrepreneur, because I think it's easy to get like a hit and then like maybe sit on the money, sit on the time, sit on the resources, but it's like you guys always just like went for the next big thing, next big thing. So talk a little bit about the investment of it.
Yeah, it's a lot of investment, mental investment, energy, time, money. I mean, I've been doing this since high school, so you're doing this on top of trying to graduate high school.
Yeah.
You're doing this on top of like trying to graduate college. You're doing this on top of your 9 to 5. That's your career, but you're also doing this on top of relationships, trying to handle your social life, family stuff, We're from Ghana, so like family is a very big thing.
Yeah.
So a lot of time invested to it, and you have to understand how to mentally balance everything. So, it's been a journey, but I think we got to a point where BrownMill is really important to us, but it's not everything to us. It's not like our whole life. And we know that there's actually more important things in life, like our family, God, love. So having to balance that, it was like a learning experience for us. But we kind of got to the point where if we knew that if we're like the best we can be, the brand is the best it can be. Yeah. So we kind of understood that, all right, we need to make sure our mental is good. Yeah. We're working now, we're eating right. So we could build this brand to the next level.
Yeah. Oh, this is amazing. Talk a little about delegation, because it's 3 of you guys. So 3 of you guys can't do it all, especially, do all of you guys have 9 to 5s?
For the most part, yeah.
Wow, yeah. So talk about like when you guys knew, well, you guys knew about delegation even from when you guys were making the batches, but talk about, do you guys have like permanent team members that work for you guys?
I mean, I wouldn't say permanent team members, but we always had a team. Like even in high school, we had like a sales team, a marketing team. Even now, we have like great people on our team. Like we have a man named Elijah who does our operations for us. So he's managing the store and logistics and different things like that. We have a guy named Chris Chandler who does all like our graphics, our different like aesthetic things. Jalasia runs our social media. We have Trey who does like our production, so like our videos that we post. So we really have a great team. Yeah. And then when we need help, we're able to just get more people. I think the blessing is, since we're in Newark, we have like a great internship program. Yeah. Yeah, so we have interns every summer that come to work at BrownMill. They get credits and they also get paid from their different colleges. And they work at the store, they learn about different things. And a lot of times they actually leave to start their own brands, or they come to work full time. So some great interns we had in the past. Emily, she actually left to start her own brand. Asare, he's just graduated from college, and Gio, she's still in college, but she's like working on her own brand. So we definitely do get a lot of help from just like people in general, the community, different people who are invested in us. So definitely not doing it all by ourselves, for sure. I
love that you guys are rooted in community. Do you feel like that's kind of like one of your brand principles? Yeah. And what made you guys like, you know what? Because it's very easy to be like, let's do this on our own. Yeah. It's us 3. At least it's 3 of us. Usually it's usually one CEO. At least it's 3 of you guys. What made you guys say, you know what, we're going to root this in community?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, you can't do it on your own. Yeah. And like, we always been community oriented since we were younger.
Yeah.
I mean, all of us, like Justice, he has a really big family. He does like family reunions. Saha, he's from Morocco, so you already know his family's there. I'm from Ghana, and also like, you know, church culture.
Yeah.
Like you're really rooting your community, so it's not where you make something, you keep it to yourself. Every time we made something, we're like, yo, do you guys like it? Like, who likes it? Who will buy this and stuff like that. And our community were the first people who were giving us feedback. Like, yo, that's whack. Change that. This is bad and stuff like that. So we kind of built this brand in front of people. Like, some of my early friends are like, yo, we saw you build this brand. We saw you like change from bow ties to t-shirts to jeans. But you only get that if you're rooted in the community. You can't get feedback if you just throw stuff on your site and say, this is it. Like, we have people tell us, like, yo, this is priced too high. This is priced too high. Y'all need to work on your shipping. Y'all need to do this. Even with the Black Party, like, yo, like, y'all need to be more organized with your Black Party. You need to work on timing. But whatever you get to the community, give back. And in times where we needed just support financially, the community was there. In times where we needed community to really, like escalate some of the stuff that we're doing, they were there. So it's only up to us to really build back into the community. So that's why we love doing this internship program every summer, where we're taking, like, you know, young people like ourselves, teaching them the ropes, let them know, like, hey, maybe you don't take everything in cash. Maybe you get a bank account. You learn how to ship. And teaching them the mistakes we learned early on, so they could build brands that accelerate even faster than BrownMill.
That's amazing. And I love the fact that it seems like also you guys are very open to constructive criticism. And I think as an entrepreneur, you have to be open. You have to have, like, listening ears to hear what the people like and want, because if these are the people that you're serving, you need to be open-minded to them. So I love that aspect. So talk a little about the Kelly Clarkson show.
So Kelly Clarkson. So we actually reached out to the Kelly show 2 years ago. They had like I'm always like trying to find different
new opportunities. I love that.
So they had like a call-in, and it was pretty much like, is anybody building something interested in the community? Reach out. So reached out, didn't hear anything back, and randomly, like February, we get a call like, yo, Kelly Clarkson just saw your video that you guys sent. We want you guys on the show.
Wow.
All right, okay. When? She oh, 2 days from now, Thursday. We're like, oh.
And where's the show at?
It's in New York. So
okay,
New York,
thankfully.
So called my co-founders, like, yo, Kelly Clarkson. They're like, nah, you're lying. I'm like, no. We actually got the email. Look at the email. So we hit her back and we're like, yeah, we could do it. What are we gonna talk about? She was like, yo, we're just gonna talk about, you know, the brand, how you guys worked with the community. Is there any direction we want to talk about? So we really want to highlight like our Black Party, but also the internship program we do, because we'll love to just get more talent. And she loved the idea, so we got to talk about the Black Party, how we started. And we also had like one of our interns, Kalebi, who worked at the brand, and I actually ended up working at Ralph Lauren now.
Nice. Oh, that's so amazing. I love that. And like, I think also in your story, I just hear a lot of like determination, grit, but also it's like that vision, like, and it's like tunnel vision in a way, because like someone could have said, you know what, I'm gonna reach out to Kelly Clarkson. They don't respond. Now you're like down and out, and like, you know, that could be like, you know, a stumbling block, but you guys just kept going and then ended up like following back to you guys. So I love that. And then I think also something that I really love, and I would love for you to speak more to it, is just the fact that like you're always finding, like, how do you find these like different opportunities and different things? Like, how do you find that for your brand? You just like, you know, you search it up. Do you feel like it's like in you? Because also like it's kind of like your career path in a way. So
I mean, I think for me personally, I just learned that a lot of the opportunities you're gonna get are gonna be from other people. So I just love to like network, go to different conferences, talk to different people, do things like this podcast, you know. So just like personally, I'm always active, traveling, going to different conferences. So you start to hear about different things like, oh, like I raised $10,000 getting this grant. I'm like, oh, how'd you do that? Or somebody's like, oh, I went on the Jennifer Hudson show and like my sales increased by 20%. Like, oh, like tell me more about that. So that's just my personality, and that's how I learned about, okay, talk shows really help with like brand awareness. Like if you get on a talk show and you're doing something, everybody's gonna see it. Kelly Clarkson is a national show.
Yeah.
Millions of people watch it every day. So now we're talking about this block party in June 7th, and people are like, "Oh, I live in New Jersey. I'm coming to it now." So yeah, just connecting the dots.
That's amazing. Ugh. Wow. So much wisdom and knowledge. What would you say to someone who's like, probably at the beginning stages of like trying to build something?
Yeah.
What advice would you give them?
Definitely write things down. Like really write down like your plan, because honestly, you might be really motivated that one day, the first day you want to start something, but that doesn't mean you're gonna be motivated day 2 or day 3.
Yeah.
So having that end goal in mind, okay, I'm starting this podcast. I want to reach millions of people. I want to be able to like serve the community doing this. So when you're not motivated, you feel like things are getting rough, you can look back on like why you started. Second thing is really start to count your wins, because we live in a society where everybody's winning on Instagram. Everybody
showing their highlight reels.
Highlight reels, new job, engaged, new cars, and sometimes you're not looking at your wins, but most of the times you're getting a win every day. So start to write down your wins. So those tough times you look back and like, oh, I did do that. I did do that. I think lastly, you need some confidence. You really need confidence, not to the point where you're cocky, but you understand your ability, and you understand that, okay, I can do this. It's going to be hard, but I have the self-awareness to figure it out. And if I can't figure it out, I have the self-awareness to ask for help. Yeah. And that's where that confidence really comes from. Like, okay, even if it's sticky, I already know I have a network and I could talk to people that can help me do what I need to do. So, yeah.
That was amazing. Wow. So much nuggets, so much words of wisdom. We're thankful. Talk a little about the block, because I know it's coming up. Yeah. And when you see this, you'll still have a chance to go. So talk a little about just like the block party. If you're living in Jersey, even New York, around the area, why should people come? What do you guys do at the block party?
For sure. Honestly, the block party is like a family reunion. Honestly, we have games for the kids, good music, good food. If you're not from Newark or you just moved to Newark, it's a great way to learn about the community, because from the outside in, you might see Newark as a place that's like, rough, the hood, inner city. But when you come to the block party, you realize that's even more than that. Yeah. And I think places like Brooklyn, they get good PR. Every time you look at Brooklyn, you see all the parties, everybody having a good time. We have the same things in New Jersey. And I don't know, it's been hard for New Jersey just to be in the limelight. Like, a lot of people talk down New Jersey, but I think the block party is like one of the best aspects of the summer, because we could say like it's the BrownMill block party, but it's honestly the community block party, because some other people come into the block party bringing like, the best things about themselves. People come dressed really nicely. We have photographers. We have people who volunteer to help the kids. We have the kids there smiling, all the businesses. So it's really just a whole community event. Everybody goes, leaves there smiling, having a good time. People come in, they might have beef with somebody, but now when they go in and they hear the music and they eat the good food, everybody's like a little bit closer. So yeah, it's really a good event for the summer. Good way to start the summer. A good way to get introduced to Newark and just like the BrownMill culture, for sure.
I love that. Well, if you're in the area, June 7th, this is your time. Put it on your calendar and be there, because I think it's going to be amazing.
Yeah, it's going to be a good time.
I know you said last year there was 10,000 people.
10,000 people.
So I think this year's going to be 15,000.
15. God's grace. 15.
Hopefully. And I know you guys will do amazing. So super excited for that. And I'm wishing you guys all the best on that.
Thank you.
Of course. I think this is a good time to segue. So for season 2, our theme is anointed to answer the call. It's from Luke 4:18 to Luke 4:20. And it just talks about Jesus going out and doing things and him being anointed and really living in his purpose.
Yeah.
And then also while I was in season 1, transitioned to season 2, I took a small break, and I realized during that time, like, your name has a lot of meaning. So there's something for you under your chair. Cool. I would love for you to just, you can show the camera, but then also read it. Yours was lengthy.
Yeah, this is long.
So yeah, you can.
All right. Kwaku, noun, man of God. The name Kwaku originates from the Akan people of Ghana and is traditionally given to a male child born on a Wednesday. In Akan culture, day names are deeply meaningful, reflecting not only the day of birth, but also certain character traits believed to be associated with that day. Kwaku is often associated with leadership, confidence, and a strong sense of identity. It carries the idea that someone born on this day is dependable, bold, and destined to walk with purpose. Though Kwaku does not have direct biblical roots, its cultural significance resonates with strong spiritual parallels. In Scripture, God often called and appointed individuals for specific times and purposes. Timing and calling were never random. This aligns with the heart of the name Kwaku, which implies that the day and time of one birth are divinely orchestrated. The name Kwaku becomes a powerful reminder that God's calling is often intertwined with divine timing. Just as Jesus stood in the synagogue and declared the fulfillment of his purpose in Luke 4:18-19, the name Kwaku speaks to those born not just for a day, but for a divine moment, to rise, lead, and walk confidently in their anointing. Amen.
Yes. And I love this segment because, like, every single time we do it, it literally defines who the person is. And, like, it's so funny because even when you were, like, talking about it, I was like, oh, my God, I can't wait to get to the segment because your steps were literally ordered. So it's amazing. Talk to us a little bit about just your faith, because I feel like, you know, at the end of the day, like, you know, we're here, we're born with a purpose. God knows us before, you know, we come out from our mother's womb, but we also have to be conscious of making sure that we involve him in all we do. And like, just hearing your story, I just feel like the hand of God is like on you every step of the way. Like, just even how you became a part of BrownMill, the different career paths you've done. Like, we were talking a little bit offline. You have like great career history, worked with some big places. So talk a little about your faith, because I feel like it's definitely is working for you, you know?
For sure. Now, faith has been so important just like in my journey. I'm Seventh-day Adventist, so both my parents grew up in the church.
Yeah.
Seventh-day Adventists, I mean, if you know about them, they're pretty strict.
Yeah.
So my parents, Saturday, we had to be in church every
Wow.
Saturday. You know, growing up, it was a little annoying because that meant if you played sports, you couldn't play games on Saturday.
Yeah.
So I ran track, and it meant me missing a lot of like track meets on Saturday. Some Seventh-day Adventists, like, they start their Sabbath day on Friday, so Friday night. So, I mean, Friday night, that's probably like the most lit time for a high schooler to go out.
Wow.
And early on, my parents were pretty strict with just like us going out on Friday. So I had some resentment there, but, you know, growing up now, I realized that discipline of just like Friday night, taking it easy, Saturday going to church, is definitely needed. Like right now, where you're adult and everything is speeding up.
Yeah.
You know, now you have that Saturday to just like relax and be with, you know, church family. But yeah, faith has been super important. I think even starting in BrownMill, my church family, my biggest supporters. Like, you know, I had elders in the church buying the bow ties for their families and like inviting me to different things. You know, in church they're always dressed up, so they're the people who were buying things first. We used to have youth camps where like people from different churches all meet for a camp. They're buying the hats and they're buying the t-shirts, and they're going to their different states. And now people are hearing about BrownMill in Ohio and like Chicago. So, but other than just like the church aspect, just, you know, being able to have time with God and understand His calling for you, you kind of need that as an entrepreneur. Yeah. There's a lot of days where, you know, you don't have the motivation to do it. You don't have the faith to do it. And as I said before, like, understanding the wins is the same thing as like understanding how far God has brought you. Like when you look at the wins, so the days where you're just like, yeah, I can't do this anymore. You're like, okay, but God puts you on the Kelly Clarkson show.
Right.
You got a store and you did a block party. Like, come on, bro. You're in a good place. So, yeah. And that's what keeps me really positive. People on my team say I'm like super optimistic, but honestly, if you understand that, all right, you're kind of just executing God's plan. It's really hard to have those really negative days where you're just like, I can't do it. Like, you can do it. You just gotta figure out how to do it. So that's really how faith is impacting my life right now.
I love that. And I think like, even with you being younger and like, God bless your parents, but like you were kind of sowing those seeds, because I feel like in high school and just even like being younger, Friday night, Saturday is the day that's like everybody's outside. Like, you know, because usually Sunday is when people go to church and stuff, but you guys were, when people are going out and doing things, you guys are like spending time with the Lord. So I think even all those years of like invested time with the Lord, you're reaping the benefits. So I think it's so beautiful.
Thank you.
What would you say for anyone, and I guess this will be my last question, because I think we talked on so much amazing topics, but what would you say for anyone who wants to get into a business with other people? Like, because I know your steps were ordered where you were able to meet, your co-founders and you guys need each other. But what if there's someone who's like, I just don't want to start this business alone and I want to go in with people from the jump? Like, what are some things to kind of like check in and balance to make sure like you're working with the right person and they have the right character traits? Because granted, you guys came into alignment, but during the journey, I'm pretty sure you guys had to realize like, okay, you are a good fit for me and I'm a good fit for you, and that's how we continue doing this journey. So what would you say for anyone who's like, you know what, I want to partner with someone, but I'm not sure?
Yeah, I mean, I'll say like business partnerships are just like a relationship.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, just like your girlfriend, your boyfriend. You're gonna go through the honeymoon stage where everything is aligned and it's perfect, and you go through the stage where like, why did I even get with this person? So I think to avoid that being like a defining point where you guys break up or like stop being partners, you gotta understand who you are as a person. Like I know for me, I like to network. I like to like put the plan together, marketing, advertising, but administrative stuff like emails or maybe like the boring side. That's not really my thing. Or even like designing stuff. Like I know how things should look, but I'm not really the person who would be like, okay, it needs to be in denim and stuff like that. So when I understood that, I'm like, okay, if I need a business partner, I need somebody who's more design oriented or like creative when it comes to just the details of stuff. Somebody who could like, answer the emails. So if you know yourself and you're like, okay, I know I understand like podcasting, but I don't understand how to like get people to subscribe.
Right.
You need to find somebody who could get people to subscribe.
Yeah.
If your best friend is there and they're like, oh, I know how to do podcasts too, that might not be a good fit because you guys might start stepping on each other's toes. That's your friend, but you guys have the same expertise. What are you guys really adding? So I think understanding like your points and like your benefits and where you lack can really help you with a business partnership. I think the last point is like understanding what the end goal is because it can't be money. If it's money, you're not going to survive. It has to be something more than money. It could be like, we want to establish a legacy, we want to like build a building, we want to build a school, we want to do that. So when you guys do have those issues, you could look back and say, like, okay, but we're trying to do this. So yeah.
It's bigger than us kind of situation. And I think even piggybacking what you said, I think it also kind of sounds like you need to be with someone who, your weakness is their strength and vice versa. So if like you're good on one side, I'm good on another side, and then we collapse. So now we're this strong front because we both have a strength, and then now it's two strengths.
Exactly. Yeah. I also feel like you don't have to be friends to be a good business partner. Yeah, you don't. I mean, you have to like each other and respect, but you don't need to be somebody that hangs out with them every weekend to be good business partners, If you guys get good work done, you get good work done.
Yeah, makes a lot of sense. Wow, this was amazing. Well, thank you so much, Kwaku, for joining us. I know the viewers are going to be blessed. Tell us a little bit about where we can find your socials, all things BrownMill. Let us know, and they'll also be on the screen and in the show notes.
So BrownMill Company on Instagram. BrownMill Company on Twitter, BrownMill Company on TikTok, and then my personals is just Kwaku KNW on Instagram.
Perfect. Well, thank you so much for joining us. It was amazing. And June 7th, if you are in the New Jersey, New York, even Philly, come to the block party. You do not want to miss it. It's going to be a great time. So make sure you're there. And we'll see you guys all later. And I hope you guys enjoy this episode. Bye.